in just a moment. But yeah, I think that's really good for MIBR to get that advantage, that edge in the early goings. We saw them yesterday on their CT side. They do like to expend a lot of utility to keep that banana control early on. So we're probably going to get more of the same today. But it was Nouns, I believe it was, right, who were the ones making more noise in the early goings again. So we'll see if MIBR are able to get off to their hot start as they were in map number 1, or if maybe ATK will be able to keep it closer, which is going to be important for them because you don't want to give MIBR that type of lead.
No, you don't. They saw what happened when that lead snowballed out of control on Ancient. They do not want to let that happen here for everything, for a spot at ESL Pro League. Here on map 3, Henny pushing down, good flashbang, Bowden stays alive for a moment, and MOTM will trade him, but Turtle pushes down mid. The crunch comes in from MIBR, and ATK are smothered. No way out, no way to survive. They're going to have to try and survive this push down. DJ1, but exits dual Berettas reign supreme. He grabs both of them down T-ramp, and Swisher is going to try and get them from behind. He's got the dink onto the first. Does he find exit? He's got damage from behind. He's going to have to run all the way towards the B side. If he gets a bomb plant, that's something good. That at least is a force buy to work with in the following round. But this is a winnable situation for him as he gets that bomb down pretty quickly. One player in CT, one player up banana. How does Swisher play this? It's not exactly an orthodox plant. Doesn't matter. It's safe, and that is what he needs. No kit for the Brazilian side. So he only needs to buy enough time. So there's 9 seconds left before they can actually defuse. Emo is cleared out. Swisher holding the line, looking for someone to run around. Exit making all the noise. Swisher playing this one so smart.
Why are they overlooking
He's isolated! They haven't cleared U-Box! And Swisher's got both! ATK on the clutch! It's Swisher up 1-0.
Oh, finally! What a great time for ATK to find their first pistol round victory. It looked like it was just going to go the way of MIBR again, and they had that mid control. Well, even went in aggressively and took down those 2 players. You saw the dual Beretta spam that's so OP on pistol rounds. Those 30 rounds you can just pump into your opponents. The thing is, Swisher just got some ridiculous timing. He slipped through into mid. Even though there was someone watching from top mid, he somehow got through before they could give a call to the teammates. So, of course, they're not going to expect him to be there. He gets one for free, grabs the bomb, hightails it to the site, finds the plant, and then MIBR are the ones who make the mistake. You clear out dark corner with the Molotov. You've got to check new box. A complete oversight. Both players looking towards CT, looking towards construction, but not the one spot they really should clear. A very typical spot to hold from. All right, well, MIBR forcing up here, trying to get this right on back in their favor. But ATK looking to be potentially the first team to secure a Pro League spot. And of course, don't forget, guys, you know, whoever loses here will still have a chance at another spot in Pro League. 2 of the 3 teams will end up there.
Yeah, and that's pretty good odds. It's 66.7%
Yes.
Just gotta win 2 games, or in ATK's case, just 1. Exit though lets him run by. They still haven't cleared him, and he's got almost 2, but he can't finish off MisteM, who's down to 12 HP. BRN with a deagle shot. DJ mows down Turtle, and Swisher is very low as well. Bomb yet to go down. 34 seconds on the clock will turn into that 40-second bomb timer. Henny on the rotation, 1 coming up banana. That is BRN. Insani with the MP9 spots out 1, jumping around looking for that opening kill. DJ needs this frag. He needs to get this one, and he does! He does just that, and he's got both! The deagle spam for Henny will not connect. BRN in grill, sitting here, waiting with not much time left to play, looking for somebody to overextend. MisteM will backstab him, and ATK 2 rounds up, looking for an early lead on MIBR here on map 3, and a spot at Pro League. No buy for MIBR, maybe a couple upgraded pistols. This should be a free round for ATK to build up some economy and get ready for the guns in round 4.
That still got very precarious for ATK, right? There was so much damage dealt by MIBR, just they could never really gain that edge. And DJ, who has had some questionable rounds on his side, was solid there. He gets the 2K that he has to. And ATK, very low on HP, as mentioned, but just put themselves in a position where it didn't really matter. Now MIBR coming through, a couple of deagles, a 5-7, a flashbang, but nothing more to speak of into this round. Not even a stack. They are leaning more heavily towards the B site, and eventually I think that all of them are going to end up here. Flashbangs are good. MOTM jumps onto the site, doesn't realize that exit is right there, and no second from Insani. The thing is, I think that B site, you got to get out of there if you're ATK and readjust.
That's exactly what they do.
They were expecting a full stack, though, and they are walking into a couple of players, so we'll see.
I love jumping accuracy in this game. It's fun.
Yeah, well, with the MAC-10 in particular, it's ridiculous.
MAC-10, MP9, very good jumping accuracy guns. MAG-7 as well, sawed off. Just jump around corners. Do that. It's fun. And it looks great, too, for the camera. You might as well just go for the farm, though, if you are ATK right now. Go for the money building. Now, they do lose 2 players. It's not ideal. Maybe even a third. Will only be 2. MisteM with that 3K. Money looking pretty for ATK. The buy is going to be here for MIBR. Henny, of course, getting the op in hand. And a good amount of utility for MIBR. We'll have to keep an eye on how fast they want to dump that utility, though. Against Nouns yesterday, they were very prone to use it all early. ATK, will they have the adjustment? Will they have watched that previous matchup? I assume they did. Do MIBR have what it takes? And they're going back to that 3B site lean, too, John, that they were so fond of earlier.
Yeah, they do like to stack the players up early in the rounds on this B site just to get all that util thrown out. Eventually they fall off of it unless there's a lot of contact happening. Nade connects for a little bit of damage, so does the Molotov. BRN a step too far past the half ball. MIBR catches them up, but the trade is right there. A touchdown coming through from exit with the nade. Evens the numbers at a 4v4 Turtle. I think he spotted out Swisher. Yeah, he did. He's going to try and pre-fire here. Eventually, one of them's going to win the day, and it ends up being Swisher with the headshot onto Turtle. ATK, a one-man edge, trying to take a 4th in a row to kick off their Inferno T side. Bomb still down at the bottom of T ramp, with a lot of time left on the clock for ATK to work with, and they're going to use that time, slowing down the pace of play. Henny, watching in the apartments with that big green. They don't want to give him a clean shot, and they won't. Not yet, anyway.
I think they're going to rotate B. All the signs seem to lean that way. The bomb being recovered, 2 players advancing through car towards top banana. And they're even going to have a gamble stack towards B MIBR, but the smoke should negate Henny's presence. ATK have enough smokes to not overlook CT. So the coffins and the CT smoke being thrown, flashes being prepped, Molotovs for dark and triple for a few box. Henny pushes through, though. He's not deterred. Insani able to get one before MisteM drops him as well. A winnable 1v2 for Henny, especially considering there's 10 seconds on the clock by the time this bomb even gets started to put down. The smoke will last enough time. And now it's a post-plant situation for ATK. Reese looking off CT. Henny lets the shot rip. They know where he is. He hasn't moved, and he's even more concerned with revealing his position. He's trying to get that kill through the smoke, which will not happen. And a save seems to be on the cards for the Made in Brazil Opper, as ATK should have a 4th on the board, and their 4th in a row. This one starting to heat up. Inferno, it always delivers on map 3. So sooner or later, MIBR are going to wake up and turn the tide of the momentum. It's just a matter of how long it takes for it to crest for ATK and for MIBRs to start the rise.
Yeah, over the last little bit, the only one-sided affairs here between these 2 teams have been on Ancient, right? The first map here, of course, 16-8, and Ancient again prior to that in the previous BO3, they played 16-3 in favor of MIBR. Before that, the last time that ATK had a clean win, or a couple of clean wins against MIBR, was when they won in Season 42, right? In the lower finals, leading to their grand final win, 16-7 on Overpass and 16-6 on Vertigo. They did just play on Mirage in that previous BO3. That was a win for ATK, but it went to overtime, 19-15, extremely tightly contested. Like you said, maybe they watched that one back, seen their mistakes, and been able to adjust to what MIBR are bringing their way. But the same could be said for MIBR. Nades are going to be tossed forward here. MIBR taking a good bit of damage. They are invested into this one a little bit around the op, not too much. Just the MP9, couple of MP9s, a Deagle, and the 5-7. Swisher and MOTM and MisteM Looking to gain that space up banana. They got the boost over the half wall. They realize it's clear. Great flashbang thrown by Exit, but a better response from Swisher, who gets himself two. Exit and BRN go down, and A1S is picked up off the ground by MisteM just to make sure that he had enough rounds to deal with anyone else that could be there, and they have pushed back MIBR.
Insani blocks the coffin smoke, but ATK look ready for it. Swisher's going to barrel on in. The rest of his team joining the party. MisteM tries to go up, but he is put in a box. Insani will upgrade to the A1S as well. Good little chance for him to do a little damage, as the bomb should be getting planted momentarily. Bowden spots out Turtle coming up car, and he does spray him down through the plywood. Henny and Insani, at least Henny able to escape for free. Insani might be able to get out of dodge too. Save the op, and this time an M4A1 along with him, but the smoke has faded. But do ATK even want to try the op of Henny? Give them a window of opportunity back into the round. Most likely not. They are going to fall away. Henny will at the very least pick off DJ. But it's a small consolation for MIBR as ATK will go up 5-0. Caveat, MIBR went down 5-0 to Nouns yesterday night. And what was that final score? 16-10?
Yep. I believe it was 16-10. That's exactly right. So, yeah, they went on a 16-5 run after that, basically. Yep. So, yeah, indeed, do not count MIBR out of this in any way, shape, or form, especially considering that was just a half buy. They weren't necessarily expected to win that based upon the advantage ATK had in terms of hardware. They do have 3 A1Ss, the A4, and the op this time, and pretty much full util. Only a nade missing in Turtle's hands, but that's not going to make that much of a difference. And he tosses a nade, speaking of, right down the pipe, and Bowden goes down to 50, then 32 afterwards. I believe there were a couple of nades tossed forward. 1:35 on the clock. ATK trying to keep MIBR off the scoreboard. That is not an easy task.
Not an easy task at all, especially with Bowden at 32 HP. No early picks for ATK either. MIBR starting to temper their aggression a little bit, adapting to the holding style of ATK on their T side, forcing the terrorists into an engagement. Swisher trying to get something done from Boiler, but he is flamed away. ATK spinning their wheels, looking for an opportunity to pounce, but none has been provided so far. Looks to be a rotation in towards B, but Insani is starting to go that direction as well. At the very least, a fast rotator in Speedway. Utility going to flood in, Insani's going to run on back. Exit on top. He spots a couple of players coming around the corner, and he's got the bomb as well. Nobody ready for the Coffins player. DJ with one. Heavy damage onto Insani, and Exit down to 15 HP. DJ going to punch in those digits, hoping his teammates cover his back. The bomb will go down. No. So will Insani. That is massive to bring it to a 3v3. Good pickup by Bowden through the smoke. Molotov fading out. Exit could peek from construction, but instead it's going to be Swisher going over aggressively. DJ and Bowden 2v3. Only 2 smokes and a flashbang. Now just DJ left alive as Bowden plucked from the round by Henny. Playing from U-Box, he spots out the first, but he has been spotted now. Both players swinging, but they have utility in hand. DJ trying to play from U-Box, trying to buy the time. There are kits, though, and he will fall. First round on the board is round number 6 for MIBR. Deja vu, not just yet, but a good start for MIBR considering their result last night.
Yeah, and I mean, look, MIBR, they win the round, but some excellent utility usage from ATK again, right? Because MIBR are threatening, trying to deny them the space onto that site, and eventually have to fall off because of the way the flashes and the smokes were thrown. ATK get the bomb plant again. MIBR can't deny that. That keeps the economy very healthy for ATK as they're able to get an op and 4 AKs along with full util once more. So MIBR going to have to answer the call again here. As they're, in the meantime, trying to get a foundation, an economic foundation set up for themselves on their CT side. Exit. Toss a nade on forward, MisteM. Smoking in the Molotov, so they know someone's here. Double peeking around the corner. Great flashbang from MOTM. Better trade from Exit. And he spots out a player. MOTM charging up towards the half wall. That means Exit's going to toss utility on forward. But EJ, in the meantime, that was on the other side of the map. Takes down Turtle in the apartments to make it a 4v3. And an instant response again from the Brazilians. Insani dropping EJ. Exit gets MOTM, who tries to re-peek around that smoke. And a man advantage now for MIBR.
Trades favor the tees, but no longer as the man advantage goes to the Brazilian side. Utility being thrown over towards Ace. It's going to be a pincer in onto Insani's position. Swisher already up top graveyard. Insani on the bicycle, keeping an eye on 2 different angles. He drops down into the smoke now. Swisher up top makes noise, though that's the problem. Insani now can rotate out. His gun barrel, his head shows, and Swisher finally sprays him down, dropping away as Bowden gets the bomb on the ground. On top of the bike, Swisher dodges the flashbang, looking for the player on lane, but there's another threat coming in through apartments, which Swisher does not know about. He rotates around, keeps an eye on both angles, a very tough position to be in for Swish. Now he knows there's a player from Apps, and Henny with a drive-by headshot puts Bowden in a very tough spot. 1v2 with the op in hand, misses that critical first shot, misses the second on towards Henny, and it's going to be an op recovered for the Brazilian side, and MIBR 2 in a row. They're starting to come back a little bit more. That Molotov and that following headshot so crisp from Henny. And the final kill on towards Bowden as well. Not quite timeout time just yet for ATK, but the money going to force them into a bit of an awkward buy. Less utility, maybe even a MAC 10 or a Tech 9 for MOTM. And Bowden returning to the AWP.
Yeah. Timeout going to be called here from ATK to talk things over. They did lose those 2 in a row. And Henny, look, he is just so very good. As mentioned, 24 or more frags over the last 4 maps. And he's, again, near the top of the scoreboard. It is exit this time at 11. But Henny right behind him with 6. And that will likely grow exponentially here as MIBR is starting to threaten ATK on their last bit of economy before they'll need to save. Should they lose 3 in a row, if they win a 6, then they're looking good. No problems.
I would say if you're ATK, you're looking at 9 given your start. Anything less is probably a bit of a disappointment. And given their bye, I think they're going to try and get MOTM into a very aggressive position. Use the MAC 10 to the best of its ability. Cut down the angle. Try and pick up something fast. He is leading the charge up Banana. There's 2 players here for MIBR. And they're just going to run on in. MOTM with 1. No trade back as it's BRN with a nade kill onto Swisher. The gun kill onto MOTM. But the trades are favoring ATK now as MisteM just goes for the jump across. Bowden tagged down heavily by Insani. But he will still get the bomb down. And he is on the AWP. Still a nade in the hands of Henny. Can be very dangerous. But DJ lurks for the opper. He's waiting. But he makes noise. And Henny misses the shot. DJ shuts down the primary threat to the low HP Bowden Master, and that will open up the door for a 6th on the board for ATK. Nade tossed in by MisteM. A flash goes high as well. Turtle eats that 1 for dinner. He's down to 56 HP. DJ has also joined the party, but he makes noise at Banana. That could just scare away MIBR, though, and that is exactly what happens. They fall away, they dodge the bullets, but they will not dodge, surrendering a 6th round to ATK.
They could still go down here. Have to be careful because ATK are rotating, trying to hunt down those 2 rifles, and they will not be successful. But they are at least successful, of course, in taking the round and making it 6-2. Almost an engagement at the end there, but it doesn't happen. That said, look, that's a pretty nice round victory. ATK, 3 guns come back. Sure, they have to reinvest into a couple. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, on the other side, MIBR get the save, and they'll bring some rifles through.
It's still not a great situation economically for ATK. It's a swing round for both sides on the edge of a reset. So ATK definitely wanting to win this one to really stick it to MIBR. Of course, the more rounds they get on the T side, the better their overall chances are going to be. They're just going to barrel up towards brackets. Nobody's clearing out Boiler, though. A massive oversight for ATK. Turtle does get traded, though. Henny up in halls with a big green. Takes a shot. He has Bowden on a plate, but missed him there for the trade. 3v3. Bomb to go down on the A site, the hardest site in modern Counter-Strike to retake. And that should just be a save from MIBR, barring any fast frags to give them a road back in. They do have a good amount of utility. 2 Molotovs in the HE, plenty of smokes and flashes. 1 Molotov in towards Big Pit. Smoke going down as well. MIBR do have to deal with all these players on site, though, and MisteM just up close and personal around the smoke. A very advantageous position, trying to smoke criminal his way out of this. They're spamming, they're hoping to kill, but he's caught exit down with his pants, and DJ's gonna get another one here onto BRN, and Sani hanging around, spotted out by MOTM, and just finally finished off there. Bit of a miss on the first burst. The second one will put him down. The op recovered for Bowden. A messy round in the end for ATK, but that just goes to show how hard the A site is to retake there. No real ground gained by MIBR, and what's their buy going to be like here? Because their money is not good at all.
Yeah, they had to force up into that previous round, or I shouldn't say force up. They had to invest fully into that previous round just to get what they had. And this time, well, it's just going to be that A1S for BRN and MP9 in Turtle's hands and everyone else onto the pistols. They do spread out their forces a little bit. Where are they sending that rifle? It looks like it's going to be at the B site. ATK have favored going to B over A, even though that last one was one on A. And now they're taking their time. Slowing down the pace of play. 1:27 on the clock. 5-round lead for ATK. They want to keep this stranglehold over MIBR. Don't give them a bit of breathing room. And MIBR, well, I mean, they're, like we've talked about so many times, extremely difficult to completely shut out of a server, even on rounds like this. Swisher goes out with the MAC-10, wants to get some bracket control, and you got Insani there, and in fact, he's the only player. Insani, is he going to take the fight to ATK? It feels like he wants to, but he eventually backs off the porch, hearing all that utility, get primed and ready, taking the shots, missing them, and he gets taken down by MisteM. MisteM working his way up lane. Turtle still here, but not for long. Yeah, he goes down to Swisher. Henny manages to get one with the USP. That's Swisher down for the count, but he can't pick up a gun off the ground, and eventually is just going to fade off of the site, and this will be an ATK round victory, as you would have expected based upon the buy-up that MIBR brought into this round.
Yeah, and even their initial take from ATK was all designed knowing that MIBR are not going to have a good buy. Swisher was the sacrificial lamb. He went in first, completely disregarding a porch player. He's lucky to be alive after that, but that was the whole point. You trade out the porch player, and then you explode onto the site. He ends up getting a little bit more lucky. ATK don't have to deal with the player on site because Swisher's able to get the wraparound, and the porch player traded out there. So overall, ATK doing a really good job of reading the situation, grabbing the half at the very least, too, with still a few more rounds to play, 5 to be exact, and they're looking incredibly well poised on this first half, but they cannot be complacent against MIBR. You cannot rest against this squad. They have ways to come back and find ways to win. They came back from down 9-0, 11-4, I believe it was, on Vertigo against Nouns last night. Yep. They are incredibly good at it.
The only difference between Nouns and ATK is I think that ATK is a more formidable opponent on Inferno, and they can expose the weaknesses that MIBR showed against ATK that showed against Nouns that weren't punished. And look at this util damage in the early going. We mentioned MIBR like to get that heavy presence there, but a risk is if the util is on point from the tees, well, this happens. BRN, 4 HP, exit at 31, and now the Molotovs will come in to try and clear the angles. Yes, MisteM does get tagged down, 220 HP, but ATK have what they were looking for. It is top banana control. And he would be probably a little foolish to try and repeat into this one because there's so much presence from ATK to deal with.
ATK can kind of just pump the brakes here, too, and let MIBR sweat. Because they don't have to make a move. They can try and probe elsewhere. But it's a good flashbang for Turtle. DJ down for the count. No trade back for him as well. First man advantage for MIBR in a long time. Now ATK will probably have to make a move in the next few seconds here. Looks like they are prepping that B take, and they will have to deal with Henny. But he has not had the same impact on this map as he has on the maps prior. This is the 5th map he has played in conference, and his lowest impact so far. Smoke's coming in, one towards stairs and one towards CT, trying to deal with the op of Henny. They run in towards CT, and MisteM drive-bys him with the A1S this time. Exit, so low on health.
Plant.
Just praying for sanctuary in church. Somebody's got a plant, though. Swisher will just pick the bomb up after he tosses it back, get that coffin plant, but look how fast the rotations are up banana. Turtle and Insani, both here, both ready to go. Bowden and MisteM, though, both with ops. And that's huge because MisteM's health is so low. BRN met by the Alpha Code, who drops off second orange's exit, though. That is massive on the Swisher, but MisteM does not care. He's got 2 on the big green. It's all down to Bowden and Zani now. 1v2 for the Young Academy upgrade, but Bowden flicks him down. 9 to ATK, 2 for MIBR. And where is the timeout from the Brazilian squad? There is the timeout from Made in Brazil. But ATK are finding ways of victory. That nade stack, it did help them out, but it was that op dropped by Henny that really gave MisteM the leg to stand on in that post plant.
It's not often that you're going to see MisteM using the AWP in pretty much any situation, so you might want to clip that if you want to watch MisteM use the op, because that was a thing of beauty for him with a gun that he doesn't usually hold in his hands. So
Look at his stats,
9-2.
John.
Sorry?
Look at MisteM's stats.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly that. 15-5 here and a 9-2 lead for ATK. MisteM didn't necessarily perform up to his usual standards in the first 2 maps, but Inferno, well, it has been an entirely different story for him. He's almost doubled up on anyone else on his team. Swisher is the only one preventing him from holding that, and DJ as well at 8 frags each. Unreal. He could still end up doubling up on everyone else, and he is the frag leader on the server. Exit behind him at 12. 9, as mentioned, picked up by ATK. They're looking to head into double digits and really put the hurt onto MIBR.
9 rounds was probably like, you're all right, we had a really good half from ATK's point of view. They are looking at 10 plus rounds on the T set of Inferno. They are a good T set Inferno team. 61.5% win rate on their T set. But there are no slouches on CT either, 55.7. This is just almost what ATK did to them in the first map, though. This is how it feels, where ATK is doing everything right, MIBR is doing everything wrong. Just flip the teams, and that was how the first map played out.
50 seconds left. ATK are starting to move on forward. Insani, and BRN are waiting over at bracket to greet anyone from ATK that'll come their way, but ATK look a little bit hesitant. They're trying to decide, do we go to B, do we go to A? Looks like A will be the final destination. With 32 seconds left, the way they're posturing, you have to make the move, and here it comes. BRN goes down right off the docket. What a peek from DJ, and then they get the follow-up on the turtle. Only one player left, that's Insani. He's just trying to get away, and he can't. Swisher is allowing no one to exit this bomb site. He gets the 2K, and it's only Exit and Henny left, and in a 5v2, I don't care what you've got on CT side. You are not getting back on this A site, and that is why they're going for the save.
And if you're Henny, do you rotate back to the A site? The problem is, ATK are so fluid in their takes, wherever Henny goes, it's almost like he's choosing the wrong side every time. Because he's tried to rotate back to A, he's tried to go to B, but wherever they target, he's usually not there for the initial engagement. And when your whole team's major success has been based off of Henny's op throughout the course of this evening, somebody else needs to step up. Right now, Exit is doing that job, but he needs some support. Yeah, Henny's had some kills, but how many of those 9 kills are actually impactful in the overall outcome of the match? Not many at all.
Yeah. Thing is, I can't blame Henny like at all for, even if they don't win, if they're not winning rounds, He has been so good, right, up until this point, throughout the qualifiers. Or, excuse me, throughout the conference, right? Anyway, 10-2 for ATK. They've hit double digits. Henny gonna toss that smoke on forward. He's trying to get activated. The timing almost there. He can't catch off the players. At least a flashbang comes through to slow up the advance for ATK. MIBR, the one thing that does favor them here are 3 players waiting on the B site. Given how heavy the presence was for ATK, they're probably not going to move too much. Maybe ATK can read this well and rotate themselves back around to A, which would be a softer site or a softer hold for MIBR. Both players on the A side, on top of everything else, are pit side. So, I mean, arches, bracket, completely open, free for the taking. And I think MIBR realizing that. That said, BRN finds DJ hanging around a little bit too long over at Banana, and he sprays him down. So opening frag, despite all of that map control gain for ATK, goes the opposite way.
BRN gonna wait for that smoke to fade and try and push the brackets. The Molotov will not betray MOTM as Bowden will double down. So will MOTM.
Oh my
2 kills for the pair. And Henny again with nothing to say in the round because he's the man soloing the opposite site. And Swisher might just try and punish. That's a beautiful shot from Henny. But again, his kills are adding up to nothing in the end. They're just exits. They're just a little bit of economic damage, which at this point doesn't even matter. Because look at the ATK bank, and more importantly, look at their round count. They're up to 11. They're up to double breadsticks. And ATK are running rampant on map 3. A disastrous, abysmal map 1. A slight comeback in the second half. But after that narrow victory on Anubis, they are making Inferno their home and making it the 7th circle for MIBR.
I think you guys can see why this is ATK's best map and why they've only lost 5 times over the last 3 months. Bowden and MOTM, yes, I mean, it hasn't been the best half of Counter-Strike for MIBR, but you have to give full credit to the way Bowden and MOTM executed there. Their shots, the utility, everything for ATK going to bracket was fantastic because there was a crossfire of 4 players from MIBR, and they were completely wiped off the face of the map. What a round for ATK, and a statement round for them. 11-2, 9-round lead. MIBR still enough to buy back into this round with 3 A1Ss, the AWP, and the MP9. And look at this, finally MIBR trying to get aggressive. This is what Jota brought to the team when they played Inferno before. As Insani is just going to go down to Bowden. DJ finds Turtle. A 4v3 advantage here in favor of ATK. And now MOTM and BRN going to bump noses. And MOTM's going to win that battle. BRN had no idea MOTM was there. And now a 2-man advantage for ATK. And what I was trying to say there, Austin, is that Jota used to be that player to get in on the flank, go and take those aggressive fights, but he was so good at it. Oftentimes, you know, there was nothing the opposing team could do to stop him from poking and prodding around. I mean, they don't really have that though anymore on these. There's no one that's really comfortable playing that role here on Inferno.
Insani gets that kill if he doesn't shoot the chicken.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there.
I think it's nerves. And again, he's an academy player, 17 years old, getting called up to the big squad. Qualify for Pro League. His team is getting bullied. And they're like, hey, run it down mid, see what you get. He sees movement, he shoots it. But it just happens to be a chicken. And then Bowden can just flip around and get the kill. Exit gets removed from the round. And the bomb's going to go down on B. Meanwhile, there's still DJ and Bowden here on A, trying to hunt down Henny. I don't think there's an escape here for Henny. He does spot the player up on top of Coldbox, who does drop down now. DJ's looking for him. Bowden closing the gap. And there was another player coming through as well. Disgusting shot from Bowden. And 12 rounds for ATK. Money is enough for rifles and probably an SMG on one of the players for MIBR. But this is potentially a 13-2 half in the favor of ATK. A 12-3 is the best case scenario for MIBR. And that is nobody's best case scenario. That is, you're pretty much done and dusted unless you have a miracle. And it all has to start with the pistol round. 13-2 would just be icing on icing on icing. And somewhere beneath a mound of it, there's cake for ATK.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, MIBR came back from a 9-0 deficit yesterday. It was against a team that isn't as good on Inferno, but still, they're capable of it. The way things are going here right now, though, I don't know if it's going to happen. MisteM carried the team on his shoulders up to this point with 15 frags, and then MOTM and Bowden activated over the last 2 rounds. And you see some shots being connected on Insani there. It looks like MIBR starting to run out of gas here on Inferno against this ATK squad. And this is actually the biggest deficit that they've had so far here in any conference.
It is. It's a 10-round deficit.
Yep.
And MOTM's got the entry. He's going around for more. Tries to dodge a flashbang. BRN will trade, but look how much map control they have towards A2. Smoke's going in as they go for the wrap around towards the site. I believe Swisher spots the player.
TK!
DJ's TK'd, but he does finish off Turtle as well. Swisher will eliminate Insani. 3v2 in the favor of ATK. DJ is shooting everything that moves. That's
Yes.
the first time he's attacked a teammate, the first time he has killed a teammate, but he has made up for his transgression with kills. So I guess you can't really fault him for it. BRN, the last man standing, 1 kill onto Swisher, low on health, missed him with a finish, 13-2 as we go to the half. ATK have opened up Inferno with a magnificent performance. 13 rounds on the T side. Boggs and JRT on the call, Ches Puff observing, and Jacob Halfman, our Halo Flyer, our producer. John, ATK lost the first 4 pistol rounds. They won the first pistol round of Inferno thanks to a Swisher clutch. They win here. It's curtains for MIBR.
Yeah, it all started with that clutch when you look at the scorer line, right? And ATK just never took their foot off the gas pedal. Swisher slowed down a little bit after that. Still a very important impact player, but MisteM, the one that really helped out, really contributed in a big way, even with the AWP, which I can assure you he doesn't have many frags with that, but he looked extremely comfortable when he was challenged towards coffins on that B site. A fight could be happening here. DJ, Likely going to engage. No, he slips into the smoke, and the Molotov is no good at all. MIBR toss it into the smoke. DJ slips behind the lines, and they do spot him out and take him down. Another strong start to the pistol round by MIBR, and this time they have full control of this A site. Still possible for ATK to get back in, but it's not going to be easy.
They got to clear out Henny from apps, one of the primary parts they have to do. And I think MisteM coming in from Arch has to do a lot of work. Turtle jiggles from pit. Does not get his head removed just yet. MisteM trying to pop. He does spot the player in mini pit. Swisher's got the opener. Bowden with another. But Insani and Henny and Insani mop it up. Good recovery from Insani at the end there. And pistol round on the board for MIBR. That's 5 of 6 tonight. That's an incredible metric.
And look, Henny in particular made a very smart play there, right? He doesn't try to take the fight too early. He's waiting for ATK to show their hand first, and then for the call-outs of his teammates saying, okay, now's the time for you to come out. He slowly but surely inches his way over onto the flank at lane and gets an important frag to ease the pressure off Insani as he takes care of business with the other 2 frags. So a third round, something for MIBR, and ATK, given they still have a 10-round lead, they're not going to force up. There is no reason for them to press on that panic button at all. And they don't even invest a single dollar aside from Swisher, who buys the flashbang. That is it into the round for them. MIBR looks like they're going B, so this round is probably over should they head there. But this isn't the important one. ATK's next buy-up will be integral. It will set the pace here on Inferno for the second half.
Yeah, this round more of a throwaway for ATK. It's do what you can if you get lucky. If you don't, no problem. Go. Next round is where things really get messy. Henny, that's a brutal spray. He only gets 1. Turtle comes in and grabs a 3K out of that SMG, and $1,800 in the bank later. Exit with 1 more kill. Clean round overall for MIBR. ATK will be on the buy here. Does Bowden have the op, though? That's the question. It would be a glass cannon. Would leave him certainly vulnerable. Lack of utility going to be a primary problem for ATK as well. No kits to speak of either. Bowden glass cannon, 0 diffusers, minimal util. Not exactly the ideal setup for an Inferno CT side. Bye! Unless Bowden could go and do something nasty here. Flashbang goes out middle, nothing spotted by the Swedish Chopper. He'll just back away towards Arch, 3 stack towards B from ATK. MIBR default with a heavy banana presence here, which MisteM and company are trying to counter. MisteM and MOTM looking for these openings.
Lots of nade damage happening. I should say lots of utility being tossed here. Swisher gets 1, MOTM the second, but Exit responds, evens out the numbers. Bowden spotting out Turtle over at Bracket, and that will give ATK the man advantage. 2 frags away from 14 on the board here for the ATK squad. Exit and Insani are both towards Banana. Obviously, Swisher is aware of this. He's giving the calls to his teammates. Molotovs are thrown in. Swisher on top of first oranges gets Exit. Last player standing is Insani. Can he clutch it out? A decisive no. Swisher with the 3K. The 10-round lead is restored, and now ATK are 2 rounds away from their first ever ESL Pro League season.
And look at the money for MIBR. The half buy or a force. The Lils. Smattering of utility here and there. It's not going to be pretty. A scout for Henny. An AK on Exit and Insani. The Lils on BRN and Turtle. An ATK now with a lot more utility and a run boost for Bowden. He's going aggro, and he's got Exit. Leave the round, son. Bowden's going aggro. And he's doing exactly what ATK need. Getting that first pick, setting the tone, setting the pace with a fantastic opening frag.
Oh, just gorgeous. Fantastic stuff from ATK. This is the ATK we know and love here. 14-4 lead. Bowden going for some really nice aggro plays. The run boost as well. Utilities on point. They look like they're completely in sync. BRN backing off of Banana. The utility battle ends up being one from ATK. Swisher's flashed out, so he has to fall off the flower pots. Not that big of a deal. They still have 3 players waiting here on this A site. The important thing is that Swisher has to win this opening duel. Will it be with Insani or Turtle? Well, it looked like Insani was just poking out there. His leg gets sprayed down, so he's losing a little bit of HP. And now Bowden activates again. Second frag in the round, looking for the third, but Turtle blindsides him with an AK headshot, and that will open up a lot of space in towards CT. The thing is, Insani's trying to take this fight at apartments, and he wins that. All of a sudden, down to a 3v3. Swisher, by his lonesome, needs the reinforcements, just trying to stay alive, and they have him pincered in. Turtle the headshot. MOTM and MisteM are trying to rotate around, and they do indeed get here in time to make it a 2v2, and will be able to set foot onto this site thanks to that smoke thrown from MisteM that guises off all visibility from Pit.
Problem is the bomb's gone down. They do know somebody has to be on site, and he is tucking down below Cold Box, holding the line. MOTM needs that kill onto Insani and Pit. Insani needs to get cleared out. There is a bit of utility for MOTM as well, a flash and an nade to use. He is clearing his angles, but if he goes on site, he can get in trouble. And that's exactly the problem. Insani with one, Henny with the next, and MIBR will stave off a potential 15-4 and grab their fifth. The money for ATK is also in the rubbish pail. They will be on a save here, surely. And MIBR, chance to grow a little more round lead, not lead, but a little more round security. Cut the gap before ATK really have a chance at that 15th.
Man, that was a 5v3 in favor of ATK as well. Bowden doing the work, ends up falling by the wayside, and after that, MIBR are able to just even out the numbers at a 3v3, but the reason why it was so potent is because they only had one player left to deal with on that A site. As you mentioned, another save round coming through from ATK. It's just the USPs, and two players are already gone. Bowden's here, but what can he really do? Nothing. BRN sprays him down fairly easily, and this will be a 6th round victory for MIBR. So they're hanging in there at the very least. But ATK are going to be right back to their buy-up after this, and I think Bowden should have enough money to get the op back in his hands.
Yeah, he can get op and vest, so he'll be able to go for that. No op for MIBR. Not like they necessarily need it. And he's starting to pick up the pace here on the T side, too. Getting a lot more comfortable. Look at the top 3 for ATK. 17 for MisteM, 16 for both Swisher and Bowden. DJ and MOTM both sitting at the 10 kill mark. But this round, I think, is very critical for ATK to make sure MIBR don't start to believe again. You have to shut them down now, or you will run into trouble.
I think they have a lot of breathing room, though, at the very least, with a 14-6 lead. Just one more round victory, slipping through, puts all the pressure on MIBR once more. 21st round of play, and again, ATK with a full-on buy-up. Insani moving up, trying to get back to control, and I mean, ATK's not really challenging for it. Bowden falls off, he might re-peek here. He is going to, needs to be wary of Boiler, and of course the player's already gotten past. Bowden doesn't hit the shot, now he really has to be careful of Boilers. He's swinging around, the smoke guising off vision from Swisher momentarily, but here's the crossfire they were hoping for. Bowden and Swisher trying to end the round right here should MIBR walk into their crosshairs, but MIBR are being so patient, so wary, and Bowden should get one. There it is. Insani goes down. Great opener from Bowden. 49 seconds left. The second one would be even better, and now MIBR readjusting. Bowden has the timing, though, even though the flash is good. Turtle is dropped. Another 5v3 for ATK. The last time they had this, it got thrown by the wayside, thanks to some good shots from MIBR. This time, MIBR are going to readjust towards the B site, which is to their advantage, technically a 3v2.
They don't have the utility for the take, though. They have one smoke. That's it. They're going to have to dry fight all of this. Molotov will not catch MisteM out, but he does drop Penny. Gets the finishing kill and the bomb down. MOTM from Coffins boxes up BRN. Exit the last man standing. Sprays away. But the prayer will not be heard. It will not be answered. He is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Players on both sides. No time. He's dead after it. Not a kill to his name. And 15 to ATK. The money. Not great for MIBR. The scoreline, even worse.
I mean, Bowden has been so impressive here on their CT side right there. He drops 2 players. The first one, not an easy shot, but he hits it. Second one, even better to find it as the player tried to peek him from Boiler. And after that, MIBR make the right adjustment, but ATK just would not be denied in that B site defense. So now it all comes down to this. 9 opportunities for ATK to secure a spot in ESL Pro League Season 17, and MisteM could be the first point of contact for his squad. He has been so very good on this map. Himself and Bowden tied at the top with 18 frags apiece, but it was MisteM, as mentioned, carrying the load in the early goings and giving Bowden that time to activate and get in on the action. MIBR realizing what's at stake here up against ATK. If they lose this map, they will be sent to the lower bracket, and a rematch with Nouns will set the stage for their final chance at making ESL Pro League. The thing is, it's not over yet. They can still push this one to overtime.
It's a long road, though.
It is.
9 rounds. The Gulf. The Chasm. The B exec is stalled out by that Molotov. Very little utility left for MIBR to throw.
Time.
Low as well. 35 on the clock, and they have not yet made their exec. Smoke's going in their last pieces of utility. No Molotov. Oh, wait, the ammo team still had one more flame. That's going to burn a lot of time off of these smokes.
Oh,
Swisher is
my
pushing the
goodness.
flower pots. He's going to get the first spot and the second kill as well. Dropping down. MisteM has another. He'll double, and that's it. That is
my
ATK.
goodness.
They've qualified for ESL Pro League Season 17.
I mean, wow. Talk about facing adversity for ATK. That first map was a disaster. I mean, it could not have gone worse for you in the first half. The second half, though, building up some momentum was important for them. Even though they lose 16-8, they go on to Anubis and look like an entirely different team. Sure, it was shaky in the early goings, very back and forth, as you would expect for a